Wabi-Sabi backyard garden with bamboo, aged wood and Zen style. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an exploration of a timeless approach to living and design, the philosophy of Wabi-Sabi. At its core, Wabi-Sabi embraces imperfection, transience, and the quiet beauty that emerges from natural simplicity. When translated into a garden or a home environment, it becomes more than just an aesthetic choice. It evolves into a way of shaping space that encourages reflection, grounding, and a sense of belonging. Picture yourself walking into a modest backyard where every element has been chosen with intention. The bamboo rises tall, yet never overbearing, its movement in the breeze creating a natural rhythm. The wooden structures, marked by age and softened by weather, tell silent stories of time passing. These are not flaws to be hidden, but qualities to be celebrated. They remind us that true elegance lies not in perfection, but in authenticity. In contemporary life, where speed and efficiency often dominate, people are increasingly searching for environments that restore balance. The Wabi-Sabi garden meets this need beautifully. It does not overwhelm with bold displays or sharp contrasts. Instead, it soothes. The palette is subdued, filled with earthy tones and muted greens. Each material is organic, often recycled, always respectful of its origins. The atmosphere feels less like a manufactured space and more like a natural extension of the land itself. What makes this approach especially relevant today is its compatibility with small urban backyards. Many homeowners feel constrained by limited square footage, believing that grandeur requires size. Wabi-Sabi turns this assumption on its head. Within a small space, even a corner can hold profound depth if designed with mindfulness. A single stone basin filled with rainwater, a slender path made of irregular stepping stones, or a carefully placed lantern can transform a backyard into a sanctuary. The guiding principle is restraint. Instead of filling every corner with ornamentation, the Wabi-Sabi garden thrives on emptiness. This does not mean absence. It means leaving space for imagination, for the changing light of morning and evening, for the sound of rain tapping on leaves. A carefully balanced void is as powerful as any structure because it allows the senses to breathe. Materials play a vital role in shaping this atmosphere. Bamboo, for example, is more than a plant. It is a living architectural element. Its vertical lines naturally frame the space, giving the impression of both enclosure and openness. Bamboo can be used for fences that blur rather than block, for pergolas that filter light instead of shutting it out. Aged wood, on the other hand, grounds the design. A deck that shows weathering or a bench that carries the patina of time offers warmth and humanity. The irregularities of grain, the softened edges, the cracks that whisper of endurance, all contribute to a mood of serenity. Lighting too is essential. Unlike designs that emphasize bright, uniform illumination, Wabi-Sabi gardens lean towards subtlety. Lanterns with soft, amber light invite reflection rather than activity. Shadows become part of the composition, shifting with the seasons and the hours of the day. This respect for natural cycles reinforces the philosophy that everything is in flux and that beauty can be found in change. Water often finds its place in these gardens, though not in dramatic fountains or expansive ponds. Instead, it may appear in a simple stone basin, perhaps fed by a bamboo spout. The trickle of water adds sound to the sensory palette, blending with the rustle of bamboo leaves and the distant hum of city life. This gentle layer of sound reminds us of the continuity of nature even within human-made spaces. From a cultural perspective, Wabi-Sabi is more than aesthetics. It is a worldview. It connects with Zen Buddhism, which values mindfulness, simplicity, and acceptance of impermanence. By bringing these principles into the backyard, homeowners are not just designing a physical environment, they are inviting a philosophy into daily life. The act of caring for the garden becomes a practice of awareness, pruning with intention, sweeping fallen leaves with gratitude, noticing how wood changes colour as seasons pass. This approach also aligns with sustainability, a growing concern for modern design. Rather than discarding aged materials, Wabi-Sabi encourages their reuse and reinterpretation. A weathered door can become part of a fence. Old stone can be arranged into a pathway. Reclaimed wood can form a table. Each piece carries its own story, and by giving it a place, we preserve memory while reducing waste. Sustainability here is not just a technical solution, but an emotional one, fostering respect for resources and time. The growing interest in minimalism and slow living further fuels the appeal of Wabi-Sabi gardens. Unlike ornate gardens that demand heavy upkeep, these spaces are forgiving. A few weeds between stones, moss growing on shaded wood, or rust forming on a lantern are not intrusions but welcome guests. They reflect the passing of time, reminding us that nothing is static. For people overwhelmed by rigid expectations of order, this philosophy is liberating. It allows space to breathe, both physically and mentally. Trends in architecture and interior design are also moving toward integration with nature, and the Wabi-Sabi garden becomes an ideal extension of this trend. Glass walls opening onto a small courtyard, sliding doors that lead directly into a bamboo-framed terrace, or kitchen windows that overlook a serene arrangement of rocks, all strengthen the dialogue between indoors and outdoors. The result is not just a garden, but a living environment where every transition feels fluid. The power of the Wabi-Sabi garden lies in its subtlety. It does not demand attention with spectacle, but gently captures the senses, inviting pause. A visitor may not immediately notice every detail, but they will feel the atmosphere. And that feeling, calm, grounded, unhurried, is the ultimate success of the design. As we continue to explore this topic, it is important to remember that Wabi-Sabi is not a formula, but a perspective. There are no strict rules, only guiding principles. Simplicity, authenticity, and respect for the natural process of time. In the chapters ahead, we will look deeper into how this philosophy interacts with broader architectural trends and how it shapes the future of home and garden design in a world seeking reconnection with nature. The fascination with Wabi-Sabi gardens lies not only in their immediate beauty, but also in how they resonate with broader architectural and lifestyle trends. To understand their impact, we need to view them as part of an evolving design movement that bridges past, present, and future. In recent years, architecture has increasingly shifted toward human-centered and nature-integrated concepts. Rather than isolating people from their surroundings, modern homes now seek to dissolve boundaries, creating environments where interior and exterior blend seamlessly. The Wabi-Sabi garden becomes an essential partner in this evolution, offering a gentle transition between the constructed and the organic. One of the strongest contemporary currents is biophilic design, the recognition that humans thrive when in contact with nature. This trend is not limited to spectacular views or large plots of land. Even in dense urban neighborhoods, the smallest patch of greenery can transform well-being. A Wabi-Sabi backyard does exactly that. It doesn't rely on grand lawns or ornate plantings, instead it thrives on intimacy. By focusing on texture, sound, and seasonal variation, it turns limited square footage into a restorative microcosm. The bamboo fence becomes a soft partition that filters noise, while moss on stone steps absorbs the city's harshness. These details may seem modest, yet their combined effect supports the human need for calm, grounding, and connection. Another prevailing trend is sustainability, not just in energy efficiency, but in materials and lifestyle. Architecture is moving away from disposable culture, seeking durability and authenticity. Wabi-Sabi embodies this ethic instinctively. A garden designed with reclaimed wood, salvaged stone, or handmade pottery not only reduces waste, but also tells a story. The imperfections of reused materials, scratches, weather marks, subtle asymmetries, become part of the design language. Instead of concealing history, the garden proudly displays it. In a world struggling with climate change, this offers both aesthetic satisfaction and ecological responsibility. The philosophy also dovetails with the minimalist movement. Minimalism has gained global attention for reducing clutter and focusing on essentials. Yet, critics sometimes view minimalism as too stark or cold. Wabi-Sabi offers a warmer alternative. It shares the value of restraint but tempers it with softness. A minimalist white wall might feel sterile, while a wabi-sabi wall, textured with lime plaster and dappled by shadow, feels alive. The same applies to gardens. Minimalism might strip them down to geometric order, but wabi-sabi arranges them to highlight irregularity and spontaneity. Both movements reject excess, yet wabi-sabi leans toward poetry rather than austerity. In the realm of housing design, we also see a revival of craftsmanship. Mass-produced elements dominate much of contemporary construction, but there is renewed appreciation for handmade detail. A wabi-sabi garden celebrates craftsmanship through subtle gestures. The uneven joinery of a wooden gate, the hand-carved stone basin, the woven bamboo fence. These objects carry the maker's touch, embodying individuality in an age of standardization. As people look for more meaningful relationships with their living spaces, such crafted elements become highly valued. Looking into the future, it is clear that architecture and landscaping will increasingly emphasize adaptability. Homes will need to respond to changing climates, shifting urban densities, and evolving social habits. Wabi-sabi, with its embrace of impermanence, is uniquely positioned for this. A garden that expects moss to grow, wood to weather, and stone to settle naturally adapts without resistance. Rather than striving to preserve a fixed image, it accepts transformation as part of the design. This philosophy could inspire a more resilient built environment, one that works with change rather than against it. Equally important is the role of emotional wellness in design. The pandemic underscored the need for personal sanctuaries. People discovered the importance of balconies, courtyards, and small gardens as extensions of the home. In this context, wabi-sabi gardens offer more than aesthetics. They provide therapeutic value. The act of tending a small bamboo grove, sitting beside a weathered bench, or observing raindrops gather in a stone basin becomes a daily meditation. Such moments are increasingly recognized as vital to mental health, influencing how future architects and planners will prioritize green spaces. We should also consider technology's growing role. Smart homes and digital landscapes dominate many design conversations, but technology risks overwhelming the sensory richness of natural spaces. Here, wabi-sabi provides balance. A backyard infused with bamboo and aged wood may still integrate discrete technologies, low-energy lighting, hidden irrigation, or quiet ventilation, but always in ways that respect subtlety. The key is harmony, ensuring that human experience remains central. As design trends move toward digital immersion, wabi-sabi reminds us of the analog pleasures of touch, scent, and silence. Globalization adds another layer. As wabi-sabi philosophy travels beyond Japan, it encounters diverse climates and cultures. Each adaptation reshapes the expression. In Mediterranean regions, olive wood and terracotta might replace bamboo and cedar. In Nordic countries, lichen-covered stone and pine could carry the same sensibility. The essence remains an appreciation for imperfection, a respect for materials, a sensitivity to time. By adapting flexibly, wabi-sabi proves itself not as a rigid style, but as a universal principle that enriches global design trends. Urban planners are beginning to adopt similar ideas on a larger scale. Pocket parks, rooftop gardens, and shared courtyards increasingly draw from philosophies that value intimacy and simplicity. Instead of imposing uniform landscaping, many projects now allow for natural growth, irregular patterns, and adaptive reuse. A cracked stone step in a city plaza, once considered a flaw, may now be appreciated for its texture and character. As these principles scale from private backyards to public environments, they shift the collective perception of beauty itself. The cultural dimension is just as compelling. Wabi-sabi encourages us to rethink what it means to live beautifully. In Western culture, beauty has often been equated with perfection, flawless surfaces, symmetry, polish. By contrast, wabi-sabi insists that beauty is deeper, found in wear, irregularity, and impermanence. This redefinition influences not only gardens and houses, but also the way we interact with daily life. It suggests that chipped pottery, faded fabric, and uneven stone all possess dignity. When people internalize this view, design trends naturally shift toward authenticity. In practical terms, this philosophy supports design longevity. Gardens and homes created in the wabi-sabi spirit do not need constant renovation to stay fashionable. Their appeal grows as they age. A bench that was plain when new becomes cherished once time has left its mark. This stands in contrast to styles that quickly fade as trends evolve. In a fast-paced industry, Wabi-Sabi offers a rare antidote: timelessness through imperfection. Taken together, these trends suggest a strong and enduring future for Wabi-Sabi-inspired design. Its fusion of sustainability, wellness, craftsmanship, and adaptability resonates with the most urgent architectural priorities of our time. More than a niche style, it is emerging as a philosophy that guides how we might live more harmoniously in a changing world. The small backyard with bamboo, aged wood, and Zen influence is not just an aesthetic choice, it is a microcosm of where design is heading: respectful of history, responsive to nature, and attentive to the human spirit. To envision the future of Wabi-Sabi gardens and their role in shaping architectural identity, it is essential to understand how they might continue to evolve. The heart of this philosophy is timeless, yet its expression adapts with each generation. As we move forward, the Wabi-Sabi garden will not remain a static concept, but will interact with global challenges, technological progress, and changing lifestyles. What remains constant is its power to offer grounding, authenticity, and renewal. One emerging possibility is the integration of Wabi-Sabi with climate-responsive design. Around the world, extreme weather patterns are forcing architects and homeowners to rethink landscapes. In dry climates, bamboo might be replaced with hardy native grasses that sway with equal elegance. In flood-prone areas, stones and wood elements may be arranged to channel water rather than resist it. By honoring imperfection, the Wabi-Sabi garden can become a resilient model that embraces environmental realities rather than fighting them. Gardens will no longer be ornamental alone. They will be protective, adaptive, and deeply connected to their ecosystems. Another dimension shaping the future is the growing importance of multifunctional outdoor spaces. Backyards are no longer only for leisure. They are extensions of the home where people work, meditate, entertain, or even grow food. Wabi-Sabi design naturally accommodates this flexibility. A weathered wooden table can serve as a family dining spot one day and a workspace the next. A bamboo pergola can host string lights for gatherings, but remain a quiet retreat on ordinary afternoons. The ability to shift between functions without losing harmony makes the Wabi-Sabi garden uniquely suited for modern living. As design becomes increasingly globalized, cultural cross-pollination will enrich Wabi-Sabi further. Imagine a small urban garden in New York that combines Japanese bamboo with reclaimed red brick from old warehouses, or a courtyard in Morocco where aged cedar and hand-woven textiles mingle with minimalist Zen principles. Each adaptation preserves the essence: simplicity, impermanence, authenticity, while layering new stories. This capacity to evolve across cultures ensures Wabi-Sabi will not fade as a niche trend, but endure as a global language of design. The rise of wellness architecture also points toward a Wabi-Sabi future. Beyond the visual, gardens are increasingly valued for their sensory and psychological effects. In healthcare facilities, schools, and workplaces, outdoor areas inspired by Wabi-Sabi could help reduce stress, foster reflection, and encourage mindfulness. The soft rustle of leaves, the uneven textures underfoot, the quiet invitation of shaded seating, these features nurture mental health as much as they please the eye. As wellness becomes a primary driver in architecture, the subtle strength of Wabi-Sabi will gain recognition. Technology will undoubtedly continue to shape how we live, and here lies both challenge and opportunity. In some visions, augmented reality and artificial intelligence will saturate every corner of the built environment. Yet the Wabi-Sabi garden offers a counterbalance, a place where imperfection resists algorithmic polish. The presence of digital tools does not have to erase authenticity. Thoughtful integration, such as discrete sensors that monitor soil moisture, energy-efficient lanterns controlled by soft automation, or materials fabricated sustainably with advanced methods, can support the garden while preserving its spirit. The key is restraint. Technology should serve the natural experience rather than dominate it. Looking further ahead, The Wabi-Sabi garden may also play a role in collective memory. As cities modernize, older materials and traditions risk being discarded. Yet within a Wabi-Sabi framework, they find renewed life. A community might preserve fragments of demolished buildings by reusing their stones in shared courtyards. Old timber from industrial structures could become seating in public gardens. These gestures ensure continuity, allowing the past to remain present in quiet, dignified ways. Wabi-Sabi becomes not only a design philosophy but also a cultural archive. In domestic architecture, this philosophy will likely continue merging with indoor design. Already, open plans and sliding doors dissolve the barrier between inside and outside. Future homes may take this further, creating seamless transitions where the garden feels like another room. Living spaces may feature walls textured like stone, floors blending into outdoor terraces, or bamboo structures that frame both interior ceilings and exterior trellises. The result is not two environments, but one fluid continuum of life, shaped by natural rhythm. Equally significant is the generational perspective. Younger homeowners are increasingly skeptical of perfection-driven lifestyles. They value sustainability, authenticity, and individuality over mass-produced uniformity. For them, a cracked ceramic pot or a salvaged wood bench carries more meaning than glossy new furniture. This mindset ensures that Wabi-Sabi principles will resonate strongly in future decades. The garden, as an accessible and personal canvas, becomes the ideal space to embody these values. Trends in urban density will also amplify the importance of compact sanctuaries. Rooftop terraces, balcony gardens, and vertical courtyards will adopt Wabi-Sabi as a guiding lens. Even a few square meters can evoke tranquility when arranged with bamboo screens, aged stone tiles, and plants chosen for their resilience rather than perfection. These miniature sanctuaries will be vital in high-rise cities, offering daily encounters with stillness. By showing that beauty does not require abundance, Wabi-Sabi will redefine urban luxury. Ultimately, the future of Wabi-Sabi gardens is not about decoration, but about philosophy. They remind us of essential truths, that time leaves its mark, that imperfection is part of beauty, and that simplicity is a path to depth. As the world accelerates with technology, climate pressure, and cultural change, the quiet wisdom of Wabi-Sabi will remain a guide. A backyard with bamboo and aged wood may appear modest, but within its spaces lies a radical vision. A world where we honor nature, accept change, and find contentment in the imperfect. What we see, then, is not just a design style, but a way forward. By embracing Wabi-Sabi in our homes and gardens, we invite a future where architecture aligns more closely with human needs, ecological realities, and timeless values. Whether in a small backyard or a shared urban courtyard, this philosophy has the power to reshape how we live, calmer, truer, and more deeply connected to the world around us.